My relationship with marijuana is a complicated one. At times, I can use it to enjoy myself and have fun and connect to it and learn about myself. But I would be lying if, for the most part, it's not an escape. And if I feel a lot of hesitance, I feel a lot of resistance bringing this up because even though I live in a country where it's legal, there's no issue with me smoking it. There's still a lot of stigma that I grew up with. I started smoking when I was 15, and my parents did not take it well. They didn't know what to do. I don't blame them. I still not sure how much of what they told me about drugs or their own experiences was true. I guess there's some discussions to be had. But I felt like I was doing something terribly wrong, and I didn't feel that much space for it to be understood why I was doing it. And again, I don't blame them because as I look back now, that's what I see now. It's like there was not space for that. But in that moment, I also didn't know, and they didn't know what they were doing wrong. It felt like I was able to feel alive again, to feel joy, to enjoy myself, to not be so caught up in what I need to be doing and homework and all this bullshit that I did not consent to when I was born. So smoking joints became some sort of an ally. Here I can relax, here I can just lay low, no one is bothering me. I can be free. Or at least that's how it felt the first few times. As time went by, it started to get more numbing. Especially closing on to my 18, 19 years. I started to feel more and more the social anxiety, the social pressure to be something I was not. And we just kept bringing it up. So I started to struggle to even be around people. Shutting down, going non-verbal, because there was so much wanting to come out and there was so much fighting at play within me that I had to shut down. Nowadays that shows up in a similar way. Today it's a Sunday and I chose to smoke last night and today in the morning because it feels sometimes like the only way I can allow myself to rest and not feel like I have to be working on something different. I watched 3 movies in a row, which was fun, but also kind of like just sitting there and stimulate my brain, please. And I can feel there's a lot of shame around it because I feel like I should be working or being productive or all the time. I should be doing something with my life, but not with my life, with every moment of my life. So smoking feels easier to just not feel that pressure as much. How I see the mechanism going is that I don't feel much in my body anymore. I'm not as concerned with that feeling that comes up when I'm resting, that tension, that anxiety, and I'm more able to relax into my mind. Thoughts don't seem as big, and I stay inside also because it feels easier. I want to speak on how it progresses throughout the week for me. I dance pretty regularly, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. At the moment, mostly, for the most part of the week, I'm dancing for at least 1 to 3 hours, classes or spaces where I can just move. And that opens my body a lot. Like yesterday, going ecstatic dancing for 2 hours and a half. It makes me feel very open and it reminds me who I am. I can see my joy, my playfulness, my goofiness. Like there's a room full of like 60 people, and as long as there's someone matching my energy or even on my own, I'm able to see so much of who I truly am, instead of the face or the facade that I put, that a lot of us put, the mask, because I'm so afraid to be hurt, to not be seen, to feel misunderstood or rejected or look like that. So after a whole week of feeling my body open and being sober as well, when I get to the weekend where there's less to do or less people to see, or like it's time to supposedly rest, it's easier to go for that, and once I enter, it's difficult to escape again. So my whole weekend becomes half awake, half asleep. And I see myself coming back on Monday. I have therapy as well. I'll go dancing on the evening. It's harder to feel drawn back into this loop when I'm moving. But how I see it is that I still judge myself so much and beat myself up so much for resting and for feeling that joy and that openness and that directness, and sometimes other, like, it's not only joy, but it's like everything, that I feel the urge to stuff it down and to hide it. Because if I'm honest, I walk out of my building, there's 100 other people here that I know 2 or 3, barely. Walk out, see hundreds, thousands of people on the street, and the lack of connection really gets to me. And I struggle to even admit that it's also sort of self-inflicted, but it's not. I feel like we've been divided so much that it's now really hard to just have a conversation with anyone. I do every now and then when it feels right, when I'm feeling okay, but when I'm not, everything comes up. I don't want to annoy anyone. I don't want to be a burden. I don't know what to say. My mind goes off the script. You know? Like, there's no like social script up here. I've spent years deconditioning my mind, so now it's like, hi, how are you? Immediately feels fake to me. Because I don't get a real answer, and the real answer is not expected from me. And these are all assumptions, but it's difficult. It's not easy. I'm not gonna lie. So it's just easier to retreat, to hide, to pretend nothing is there. It's only just me in my room. There's no one around. To feel alone in my own to feel alone in my own mind, in my own body, my own space. To pretend no one is there for me. And what I want to circle back is that voice that tells me that I need to remain at work. I think a lot of men might relate to this, but it's our dad's voice. And it's one that, even though I've spoken to him about it, I no longer resent him. I don't have this external projection of, you did this to me because his dad did that to him, and his dad did that to him, and then his dad did that to him. So I've moved past that, but that doesn't take this one away. Why it makes it so easy for me to go dance in a space with group, or go do a yoga class, or to finally relax in the presence of another. It's because I can put that internal image onto them, and I can see that they're not demanding anything of me. And I can just be like, oh, it's fine. And sometimes I can do that for myself, but most of the times I can't. Or I won't, better said. Because it implies feeling a lot. It implies feeling the tension in my gut, how tight I hold my jaw sometimes, the knot in my throat. It implies resisting every impulse to go eat, because that's another way I cope. to reach for my phone, to play another movie, to fight my thoughts of wanting to go for a run with ideas of, with images of how I will look while I do it, or what might happen if I don't know, man. I have such an intense inner critic. Again, I believe we all do. I'm no special in that. And even right now, it's like, why talk about this? Why not just do something about it? And to that I say that I've been fucking trying, man. Every single day I've been trying to do something about it rather than just talk about it or think about it or write about it or... And I'd like to imagine that maybe sharing this today, in the day that I didn't want to show up here, in the day that I felt like, oh, I have nothing to share that's good or that's impressive or that's... No, man. This is not joyful. This is not well thought out. This is not anger. This is not in any way impressive. This is just me with my fucked up addiction. Not to a substance. To any sort of behavior that keeps me away from my heart. To any sort of interaction or avoidance of feeling, of following what I know is right for me and for others. Of speaking up for my inner child, of not just speaking up, of making plans with people, of talking to a stranger, of going outside and dancing or going for a run or going to go have fun because I can. And I don't need to hide myself. I don't need to numb every single idea that I have of what I could do with my life. I can just go and do it. I don't have to feel so much shame around enjoying myself, nor pressure to make something out of it or make money out of it or make... Like, fuck, man. What if I just go play? Like, literally go play. I do, but literally just more often. Of course, finances are a fucking... That's a mosquito. Finances are a fucking real thing, you know? And there's another thing I feel ashamed about, is that I'm still a student. I'm finishing my degree in a year later than I was supposed to. And there's 2 unaccounted years that I also studied back home. So that's almost 6 years of career, of bachelor. The word always confuses me. I'm trying to start my business through creating content, through coaching, through doing workshops, and at the same time holding myself back so much because I'm young, because I'm inexperienced, as if I don't know enough. Spend my whole life studying the human psyche. Only just recently uncovering, coming back to my natural essence. But something I feel ready to help people with. And just because I have my own struggles. Another reason why I didn't want to share about weed is because, or my own coping mechanisms, is because who the fuck am I to help people if I'm also struggling? At least that's the idea in my head. I'm supposed to be perfect if I'm going to help people. But that's the whole paradox, is that my work is reminding people that they don't have to be, that they're not perfect, that they will never be, that they're imperfect parts of you, that there's the shadow, and the shadow is just everything that you hate about yourself or you don't know, or the opposite of what you show. It's so fucking huge. And it's like an onion. It keeps layer after layer. Like, and in the end, it's all just a little scared child. That's your shadow. That's my shadow. A little kid who learned how to protect himself in different ways. Through hiding, through substances, through food. Probably the earliest one. Through avoidance, through hardening up, through hiding, through not speaking up, through staying silent. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to learn how to speak back to someone if I was never given a fucking answer? Every time I asked a question, it was because I said so. Fuck, man. And I feel like there's something I'm not sharing. And I'm not sure what it is. Because I feel pretty much in my head. Even though I feel warmth here and there when I speak. Some sort of sweating sometimes. I read something today that really resonated, is that something I remind myself often is that we're alone. Maybe too much. We're fundamentally alone in our experience. I am fundamentally alone in my experience. No one will ever get to see who I really am. And because of that, I feel like I have not even allowed people to make the mistake of trying. In the sense, the mistake being thinking that they know who I am, not the mistake of getting to know me, of course. That wouldn't be a mistake. It feels that because no one will ever get to know me, I don't want to endure the pain of someone getting close to knowing something about me. Just because they won't get to myself, my full self, then I don't want any of it. That's some sort of black and white thinking, which on some level I don't think it's entirely bad. It's like, if you want me, you get all of me. If not, okay. But on some level doesn't leave space to see, because to try out new things, because I don't know the full me yet. Probably never will. So that's the paradox, to allow myself to be misunderstood, while at the same time trying to get people to know me and to know them for who they are. I will inevitably misunderstand them, hurt them, and vice versa.